Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 3 gang, y'all, let's get it, y'all. Part 3 gang, y'all, let's get it. Like, share, subscribe, shows. Let's get it. Let's go. That joke was crazy, man. This man said, don't nail one of them use no cut no more, man. I was like, shh. I said, yo, bro. I said, listen to me, man. You meaning to tell me that man was sitting on his bed watching you knock the lady toboggan off, man? He was like, he looked at me like, I said, bro, what do you mean? Was he watching you or not? He was watching TV, Weezy. I was like, bro, that's crazy, bro. I said, man, that's crazy. The young boy was like, man, I'm gone, man. The other young boy dipped. His son was like, man, that's crazy, man. So it was just me and him right there. I was like, oh, bro, listen, bro. One more time, bro. I said, if you uncomfortable, get out that cell, bro. He was like, man, I'm good, Weezy, man. He helping me out with this. He helped me out with that. Why y'all so worried about him, though? Like, he ain't, what y'all think he a rapist or something? Y'all be thinking he raping people or something? That's why y'all, I'm like, bro, first of all, I'm not worried about him, bro. I'm worried about you, man. Because you just came in the penitentiary, bro, and you don't know nothing. You stupid, bro. You already doing stupid things. I said, bro, if I tell Dale right now what you got going on, Dale will snap right now. He's like, but Dale ain't here, Weezy. Dale left me. Dale left me in here, man. So I'm going to do my bid the way I'm going to do my bid. And me doing my bid is being cool with somebody that rock with me, man. Just because we in the cell being the #1 thunner. He ain't say that, but he was like, just because we in the cell doing that don't mean that we gay, Weezy. I'm like, shh. All right, man. Like, I ain't, you know, like, what you want me to do? What y'all want me to do, man? Real talk, man. This man keep battling me, y'all, so boom. Don't you hate arguing with somebody, man, that always battle on your good advice? I hate that, man. Now, if I'm talking something stupid, then battle me. But if I'm not, man, you're supposed to take everything I'm saying and heat. You're supposed to listen to everything, man. What are you doing, man? I said, bro, look, I'm holler at you, man. Be easy, man. He was like, be easy. I was like, yeah, be easy, bro. Man, he was like, all right, Weezy, man, I'll deal. He went his way, I went my way, man. You know what I mean? He went right back in the cell. I'm like, shh, this junk is crazy, man. I was like, yo, this junk wild, man. I was like, this junk wild right here, man. So now, like, I feel like Buck is trying to disguise and still look like he's still like the top of the Christianity situation, like as far as Bible study, doing everything he's been doing. He ain't switch up a beat. He ain't switch up a beat, but he's doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. So I'll say probably about 3 days later, I went to the chow hall. And when I was going to the chow hall, but when I got downstairs, it was like, yo, they got that nasty hamburger joint over there. It's like a fake hamburger, but this joint is disgusting. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah. I was like, shh. I hit the Yui. I go back up the steps. I get back in the pod. I walk in the pod. As soon as I walk in the pod, I seen dude Buck. He was sitting at the same table they be at. He was just sitting there looking at the Bible. Then when he heard the door, but he was like, and he saw it was me. I'm about to hit the steps. I didn't even want to walk past him. So I went up the first steps and I'm gonna take the long way to get, you know what I mean? So as I hit the first steps, I'm like, he was like, hey, Weezy. Hey, Weezy. I was like, he was like, hey, talk to you for a second. I was like, I'm still on the steps. I'm like, talk to me about what? He was like, man, come here, man. I was like, come here, man. I was like, man, you tripping, man. I hit the steps down by the shower. So he's standing downstairs. I'm upstairs. He's like, hey, look. Now I look, there won't nobody in the shower up top or at bottom. You know what I mean? We supposed to be locking down. That's why I'm going to my cell. They let him stay in there just because he got the Bible at the table. He get to stay at the table. So he downstairs, I'm upstairs. He like, hey, look, man. Quit scaring my roommate, man. I was like, what? He was like, quit scaring my roommate. I was like, what you mean scaring your roommate? He was like, man, you got my roommate in there thinking that this because sometimes we got to pleasure ourselves. That it's a bad thing we doing. Man, I've been locked up 22 years, Weezy, man. I done jacked off in front of my roommate before. I was like, hold on, bro. That's too much information, first of all, man. I said, second of all, I don't care what you doing, man. I said on the strength that he was Dale, little bro. That's the only reason why I was hollering at him. I said, because you know for a fact, if Dale was in here, you wouldn't be doing none of this right now. He was like, you and Dale trying to go to Lawrenceville. You and Dale trying to go to Lawrenceville. I was like, what? He was like, you heard me, y'all trying to go to Lawrenceville. I was like, bro, listen, bro, I already know you a phony, bro. I start walking towards myself, and I was like, I already know you a phony. He was like, look, he started walking with me, this word. That's how I knew he was a psycho. And he started walking with me. He downstairs, I'm upstairs, though. He like, yeah, but look, though, I might be a phony, though, but look, stay out of my business, Weezy. Stay out of my business. I was like, man, open up 44, man. Lady open the door. I dipped in the cell, y'all. So boom, door closed. I started thinking, I'm like, this is great. When he went back and told his roommate the conversation we had, man. Like, what part of the game is that? Bro, I'm trying to help you, bro. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help you, bro. But like a predator don't care nothing about that. A predator just don't want nobody stepping on his toes. Period, man. So I'm like, man, this junk wild, y'all. I was like, it was junk crazy, man. So Aaron act like he don't believe nobody. Aaron, you don't want to mess with nobody, then you find out on your own. So when he said that to me, I promise you, I didn't even look Aaron way. I know Aaron used to be mad because I still used to always, sometimes when I see him, like, what's up, bro? And he'll speak and that'll be that. But like now, I was like, this is the part. I ain't even lie. I see him, I was like, hey, who got next? I'm looking around him. I don't even want to look at him. That's my word. I'm like, it's a psycho right here, man. I was like, for real? Because y'all already know at the end of the day, I'm not letting nothing get in the way of this Lawrenceville trip. No, especially not this right here. I can't let this happen. I can't let this happen right here. Like this is different right here. I ain't finna let it happen, man. Like this is like the second predator of the pod. You know what I mean? I think it came later on in another story, but I'm just like, still though, like I don't have time for this, man. I don't have time for this, to be honest with y'all, man. So I stopped even looking at Aaron. I stopped even looking at him. Now the young boy that rocked with him, and then the young boy roommate, you know what I mean? They kind of had rocked with him a little bit, but they still can't believe what's going on. So they called me to their cell. It's like a week later, they called me to their cell. He was like, hey, look, I think Buck and they're hitting him now. I was like, hold on, pause, wasn't invented yet, but I wish it was. I was like, what you mean, bro? They was like, man, cuz. They were like, man, like he acting like he in shock. He was like, I tried to talk to him, and man, act like his mouth couldn't move. He acted like he couldn't do nothing. And he just was like, man, I did something wrong. He was like, you did something wrong? What you mean you did something wrong? So I was like, bro, I'm at the point now, I don't care. I was like, bro, I don't even want to know, bro. He was like, I'm saying though, Weezer, like for real, what if he in there violating him though? I'm like, what do you mean if he's in there? He already violated him by freaking slanging with the no cut game. I was like, bro, that was violation number one. What do you mean? He was like, I know, bro. When you know he a rookie, Weezy, like, he probably thinking that won't nothing bad. Like, I said, man, nah, bro. That ain't that, man. That ain't, you know what I mean? That ain't that. You know what I mean? So like, I seen Buck sitting at the table. He was watching us congregate about this. You know what I mean? A predator now is on point. Like now he got the Bible in front of him. He had Bible, the little class, little joint they having. But I see Buck watching us. He like, all I see is that beard. He like, I said, look, he looking at us right now. He looking at us right now. Young boy was like, man, I don't care about that, man. I don't care about him watching me, man. He was like, man, for real though, man, I don't like that dude for real though, man. He was like, man, any dude that play with the Bible like that, I don't like that dude. I was like, man, you think a predator care about that? I said, a predator don't care about that. I said, look how good his luck was, man. I said, the man scored. I said, this man got a super young dude in there that's super green that don't know about nothing. You know what I mean? Don't know about nothing, man. So like, for real, dudes were like, man, we gotta go, like, I'm gonna go holler at him, dude. The young boy was like, man, I'm gonna go holler at him, man. Tell him, like, man, let dude, you know what I mean? Like leave him alone. I said, bro, that's not gonna work, bro. I said, he has to do it for himself, or it's not gonna work. He's like, man, at least if I do that, Weezy, man, it'll look like he got some backup at least, bro. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, but, like, you know, like you said, bro was in here, he wouldn't be doing that. So, like, he thinking that we don't care. So, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, bro, listen, I really don't care. Like, bro, a grown man at the end of the day. He was like, yeah, but he dumb, Weezy, man. He don't know what's going on. I'm gonna say something to him. So the young boy roommate, he was older than him a little bit. He was kind of like an instigator. Like, I just think he wanted to see some action. He like, yeah, go pull up on him there. He come out the room like, yeah, pull up on him. Yeah, go ahead and pull up on him there. Go ahead and pull up on him. So young boy was like, I'm gonna go holler at him. Young boy dipped off. So we walked and kind of got a little closer where the young boy, where the table was at, where Buck was sitting at. Young boy walked up to Buck and was like, tapped him on the shoulders like, hey, let me holler at you. Buck got up out of the seat. Walked over there, what's up? This word, he was like, hey, look, man, whatever you doing with Aaron, man, or whatever you doing to Aaron, you need to let that go, man, because I'm telling you, man, like, he don't know no better, and you wilding right now, for real, man. That man looked at the young boy like, He was like, yo, I'm serious. Like, he was like, man, I don't care if you serious. He was like, man, listen to me, man. I'm gonna do what I want to do when I want to do it, man. I don't gotta answer to nobody, man. I've been doing my time the way I want to do my time. I ain't got no time to be answering to nobody right now. So he was like, so I'm saying you just gonna prey on his innocence like that? He was like, man, he's mine. To hear a dude say that about another dude, man, that junk was wild, man. It's my word. But was like, he's mine. He's mine. Yeah, he's mine. I was like, yo, I called the young boy. I was like, yo, call you. So I was like, I told the old head. I told the dude this cell. I was like, I'm just sitting there looking at that junk like, shh, this is crazy, man. He was like, yeah, he mine. Yeah. Dude was like, young boy was like, well, how you went to the Bible and you doing all of that? You reading the Bible. He was like, man, listen, I read the Bible for my own personal reasons, man. He said, man, I'ma still do me. I'ma still do me, man. I was like, I was watching this junk from afar, y'all. Like, this is diabolical. So boom. This is crazy, man. This man just say the man is mine. I promise you, man, the whole time I looked up, I seen Aaron on the door like this. Aaron just standing at the door like this. Ain't saying nothing. I'm like, I said, man, call your celly, man. He was like, yeah, ain't no, he was like, hey, come on, bro. Come here, bro. Dude, young boy was like, look, man, I'm telling you, man, like, real talk, man, I ain't writing a zot, man. You wildin', man. What you got going on? Buck was like, man, you young, man. You young, man. You ain't been doing time long enough, man. You ain't been doing, he sat back down in front of everybody at the Bible study. He was like, you young, man. Yeah, you young, man. You ain't been doing time long enough, man. Yeah, my beard don't stop, man. It's because you see my face in this Bible, man. Like, that's how diabolical dudes is. Did you hear what this man said? This man said, my time don't stop just because you see my face in this Bible, man. Dudes don't care, man. That's why I don't trust nobody in there. That's why I never like dudes can say they change. I don't want to hear it, man. Once a maniac, once a predator, once a terminator, once a psycho. Always those things, y'all. So boom, you never want to change, man. Nothing like that. That boy come back like, man, that joke crazy, man. He was like, man, I'm just gonna holler at Aaron one more time. I said, bro, listen, if that man already violated him, man, you can talk to him till he blew in the face. Real talk. You can talk to him. He's like, I'm gonna holler at him. We go to child. So we went to child. You know what I mean? We come back for child. We at the table. We sitting at the table. Young boy call him over there where we was at. I was about to get up, but the nosiness in me kind of like paused. Like I really wanted to hear his explanation behind this, like slightly, like, you know what I mean? Bro, you front of town. You know what I mean? Not saying that means anything, bro, but like, bro, just grow a backbone, bro. What you got going on? The man sit down at the table. I promise you, he sit down at the table. He looks so pitiful, man. Young boy like, you all right? He said, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. He's like, man, what's going on in that joint, man? He was like, ain't nothing, man. Ain't nothing, man. Ain't nothing, man. He was like, I'm saying though, like, is it more than Bible study going on in there? I was like, yeah, is it more than Bible study going on in there? He was like, I mean, I don't know, man. He never got the answer out. He was like, I don't know, man. The young boy was like, look, bro, this is what I'm saying, bro. Just go to the hole, bro. He was like, then what I'm gonna do when I get out, they're gonna put me in a cell with somebody else like that I'm gonna trust, and then they're gonna snake me in the long run. I'm like, yo, bro, listen, bro. Like he say though, bro. I said, your best bet is going to the bank. I said, if you ain't gonna attack the man, you know what I mean? I said, did he violate you? He was like, what you think? I was like, I don't know. Did he? The old dude that was sitting at the table was like, yeah, did he violate you? He was like, I don't know, man. It's like, you don't know. How you don't know if you got violated or not? He was like, man, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, man. He got up and just dipped off. When he got up and dipped off, the young boy followed him. He walked over there by their cell. He was just standing over there like, he just had the dumb little young boy over there talking to him for a minute. Me and bro stood at the table like, yeah, he getting violated, bro. Like, you done seen this junk, you know what I mean? And I seen this. I looked over at Buck. Buck was like this with his beard, that gray beard. He was like, I was like, this junk crazy, man. That junk crazy. He was like, man. He was like, that junk. I was like, man, this junk crazy, man. This junk crazy, man. My word, Buck went in his cell. While this whole junk was going on, Buck went in his cell. Buck came back out. He looked. Bible study was over with. Buck looked. Buck was like, hey, Aaron, here, man. That man held up 3 honey buns. He was like, here, man. Here. Aaron was like, all right, hold on. Give me 1 second. He's like, you better come get these honey buns if I change my mind. So my word, Aaron was like, I'm looking like, man, that man left his conversation the whole ass to get them honey buns, y'all. So boom, fuck? I was like, man, hold on, man. Another dude pull up, was like, yeah, you know he in the cell. Got down with the fucking ex-booty band. I was like, bro, that's what we talking about. He was like, yeah, you know, he be giving them food and snacks and all this shit, man. He was like, you know, Aaron ain't got shit. He was like, nigga ain't got shit. I was like, man, why that nigga ain't asked nobody? I said, this nigga ain't asked nobody. I would have gave the nigga something to eat. This nigga ain't asked nobody. I was like, man. I was like, yo, this is wild right here, man. I was like, this is crazy right here. But this is the stuff that happens in penitentiary, y'all. That's why I give y'all these raw and uncuts every now and then, man, because, like, I'm warning people about these situations. Like, you have people really that's not strong enough to protect themselves in there, man. These are the scariest people that you will meet in the state that you will be around, man. You know what I mean? Right now, this dude look like a dark-skinned beast from X-Men in the damn face. So I already know goddamn Aaron is scared, man. He in the cell with fucking Beast from X-Men, the dark-skinned version. Real talk, man. So like this whole shit can like scare the shit out of somebody. That's why I be letting people know and I be warning people about these maniacs that's waiting for y'all in penitentiary, y'all. So boom, they are in there. Trust me, they are in there, man. Right now, Aaron got himself into some shit that he can't get out of right now. And this is how I usually beat the predators down on his prey. Real talk, man. And right now, Aaron is the fucking prey. So I don't know how he gonna get out this shit. You know what I mean? So he leave and go get the honey buns. The young boy walked back over there with us and was like, man, that shit crazy, man. He was like, man, the old head feeding him and everything, man. He was like, goddamn, that nigga goddamn say he that joint, man. He said, man, the old head goddamn came and slept in his bed the other night. I was like, what? He was like, yeah. He said, Buck got out of his bed and climbed up and got in the bed with Aaron. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here, bro. He was like, yeah, he just told me that, man. He said, man, he ain't telling me everything, but he told me the man came and climbed in his bed last night. I'm like, man, what the? I said, yo, bro. I said, yo, man. I said, this shit wild. I said, bro, this shit wild activity right here, bro. I said, this is wild activity right here, man. I said, man, dude is already like, you know what I mean? This shit is, this nigga full gone. Like, he's out of there. He's out of there, man. Like, real shit, he's out of there, man. Nigga out of there. I can't do nothing about this shit, you know what I mean? Like, this shit is out of my hand. I can't do shit about it. I'm just letting you know now, man. So the shit just went on. The shit just went on, man. The man was looking stupid every day because he's in a cell getting violated from a fucking predator. You know what I mean? It was like nothing he could do about it. He didn't want to do nothing about it. You know what I mean? He could have just went to the fucking hole. He just could have went to the fucking hole, man. It's my word. So I'll say probably about another week go by. It was probably about another week, man. And that's how weird shit be, man. Like, I have seen a lot of instincts where somebody's getting violated and he don't know what to do. He don't do the right things. But a fucking predator don't care about that shit. As long as he can keep getting his main goal, and that's getting your dumb ass. So I don't think Buck cared about nothing that was going on at this particular moment, man. But all I know is when we came out at the count, niggas told me that goddamn the nigga Aaron checked in. Now, I couldn't believe this. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, like, because usually a lot of dudes that's in that situation, they'll feel like going to the hole is not the answer, when really it is. You know what I mean? Of course you're gonna be inconvenienced, but at the same time, at least you're gonna still fucking have your manhood. You know what I mean? So, like, a lot of people don't usually choose this decision right here, but Aaron dipped. Aaron checked the fuck in. Now, when he checked the fuck in, the last thing I was waiting for him to do was fucking tell on this fucking predator. Now, I don't condone in telling, but at the same time, if you fucking violating somebody and raping them, then you deserve to be told on, straight up. Like, that's just what it is. I don't care what nobody say or think. That's just what it is. So that's all the thing I was waiting for. So when I came out and heard that Aaron was gone because he checked in, the first person I looked at was Buck. I looked at Buck. Buck kept his same composure. Buck was at the table having Bible study. I promise y'all, this man did not freaking care. This man did not care. He kept his same composure and he was doing the same things, man. So the part was normal. I was like, damn, the day go by, Buck didn't go to the hole. You know what I mean? So dude pull up on, young boy pull up on Buck while my homeboy check in. He was like, he wanted to check in. That's why. He didn't want to be in this pod because all y'all putting pressure on him to leave anyway, right? All y'all want him, he start getting loud. All y'all want him to leave anyway, right? Right? That's what y'all want, right? That's what y'all wanted, right? This penitentiary, man. Things go on in here, man. It's penitentiary, man. Y'all think this because I'm in Bible study, I was supposed to do me? Man, y'all got me mixed up in here, man. Yeah, y'all got me mixed. And that's how he left. I was like, this shit crazy. So another day go by. They didn't come get this nigga. They didn't come get this nigga. Shit was crazy as hell. They didn't come get this nigga, man. Man, I promise you, man, this shit was wild. Like, the niggas just amongst us. You know what I mean? Like he feeling like he ain't do shit wrong, which he probably didn't in his book. You know what I mean? But we can't be in there being super saver goddamn dumbass for a nigga that don't want to help his damn self. Now, he did the right thing by checking in. You know what I mean? He did the right fucking thing by checking in. So, goddamn, we go to trial one day. So we come back the long way. We going to Child. So we coming back from 4 building way, and we coming back the long way back to 2 building. And then we heard somebody from the 3rd floor on the 3rd side. Like I told y'all, 3 building is the whole. We gotta walk past that, and dudes be like, the dudes that's in that back on them back walls, that's in them pods. A and C pod, matter of fact, A and C pod, they can see outside, like so they can talk to people. So we hear somebody, hey, we hear somebody calling the young boy. He look up. He was like, hey, Dale about to get out the hole, man. Yeah, they override his charge. Yeah, they kept him at a level 4. We like, who that? He's like, man, it's Ern, man. He had the most pathetic voice in the world. He's like, oh, this Ern, man. I was like, you said Dale about to get out? He was like, yeah, he about to get out. Ain't he coming to 2 building? He was like, what party coming to? He's like, I don't know. I was like, man, that joke crazy. So I was like, I kind of had a little smile on my face. I was like, Dale about to get out, man. I was like, they override his joke to a 4. But I was like, once Dale, either he know what's going on, or once he find out what's going on, I said, man, Dale going to suss us one way or the other, y'all. So boom, because he was about to snap on this damn predator. I knew he was, man. A couple hours later, we come back in the pod, we look. I see Dale at the top tier. Dale across the hall, he in 2D. I see him. He called me to the joint. Hey, come outside. All right, you know what I mean? Shoot outside. Young boy was out there working out with his roommate. They out there too. He see me. He was like, yo, the fuck happened with my little bro in there? I was like, shh. He was like, he told me send mine a little bit. But like, you tell me though, Weezy. I was like, what'd he tell you? He was like, man, he just told me, man, he was in the cell with a nigga that just kept goddamn getting too friendly with him, bro. And like, he ain't know what else to do except get away from him, man. He was like, he took all he could take. I was like, pause wasn't invented yet. He took all he could take. It was nuts. You hear me? But at the end of the day, I'm listening to the story. But he was like, yeah, like he took all he could take. That joke wasn't funny, man. But he was like, yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm like, yo, bro, listen, man. The man said that the man be in the cell jerking off, bro, with no cut. And he taught him how to do the same thing, for he can watch him jerk off. I said, bro, listen. Buck is a fucking nasty old head, man. Period, man. That's just all that shit is. I say, your cousin, I say, your little bro, let him do everything that he did, bro. Like, real shit. I try to warn him. I try to tell him to count. The nigga did not want to listen to me, bro. He was like, yeah, it don't matter, though. Like, he ain't got to fucking listen, man. He was like, he said, man, for real, that man ain't had to say shit. He said, man, I already know that man took that nigga Innocence, bro. I already know he did, bro. He said, man, that nigga ain't the same no more, Weezy, man. He said, that nigga ain't the same. He said, you know what that nigga doing in the hole? He said, y'all ain't see him. He in cell 23. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah, you know what he doing in the hole? I was like, what? He was like, being the #1 gunner. The #1 gunner. He didn't say that. He was like, yo, bro, he in the hole pulling on himself. Yeah, he jocking off every day. That's all he doing there, bro. He's like, that nigga done turned that nigga out, bro. I'm like, shh. I'm like, man, that's crazy. I said, so he told you he violated him? He was like, I mean, so many words, bro. He was like, man, either way, man. He was like, man, I ain't going for it, Weezy, man. He was like, I ain't going for it, man. He was like, look, I'll be over there, Weezy. Yeah, I'll be over there. I was like, when? He was like, bro, don't even worry about it. I'm coming. When you see me come over there, I'm coming over there. I said, bro, listen, you just got override, bro. I said, yo, your man is gone. I said, let it be, bro. He said, no, I ain't letting it go. He said, I ain't letting it go. He said, I can't look that nigga mom in the eye until I knew what was going on with this and that. He said, you ain't got nothing to do with it. He said, y'all ain't got nothing to do with this shit. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't got nothing to do with this shit. I was like, shh. I was like, bro, you sure, man? He was like, yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, man. I was like, for real, I thought about it. I was like, man, Buck deserved all that he got coming to me, y'all. So boom. That's how I felt, man. Like, Buck, yeah, you a piece of shit. However you want to look at it, you can say how you want. Nigga, you a piece of garbage, nigga. That's who you is, man. So the next day roll around. I seen bro, he had just looked like he was on war mode. We went to breakfast. I seen him, bro, got his pants tucked in his socks. He got his old New Balances on. He just looking like he ready. He just looking like he ready. This is my word. He looking like he ready, man. We coming back from breakfast. I see him standing. He's standing under the camera. I see him. He was like, Bucket. He was like, what Bucket? I was like, he coming. Don't pay as a bitch. I go up the steps. I just keep it moving. I ain't standing at the crime scene. He was like, well, Buck. I was like, come on, bro. I got my ass up the steps. I get up the steps. I get all the way by my damn cell. I'm about 44. I'm like this. I'm far away from that damn scene. I'm like, next thing you know, you see dudes coming in like, niggas like, yo, hey, Weezy. Man, your homeboy just snapped on Buck ass. I was like, for real, what happened? It was like, man, he went nuts, man. They was like, he went nuts, man. He was like, he beat that nigga with a lock, bro. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. He said, man, Buck was on the ground squirming like a fucking worm. I said, man, you lying. He said, man, that nigga down there in a pool of blood, bro, by the camera, bro. Right there by the steps on the second floor. I was like, shh, that shit crazy. The young boy done walked in. It was like, hey, Weezy, that nigga goddamn Dale just blacked out. He just blacked out. I was like, I heard, bro. They was like, as he saying that, you hear the part, I said, you hear the CO coming, lock down. Everybody lock down right now. Lockdown time. Lock down. Everybody lock down. They locking the joint down. Word, they locked this shit down, man. We was locked down all fucking day. Man, when the incident happened that we couldn't see shit, man, but they let us go to dinner. That was the last thing that happened. We went to dinner. So when we went to dinner, that's when the information started coming out. And everybody was like, yo, this is my word, man. That nigga almost unalive Buck dumbass down there. They say that nigga was hitting Buck all in his arms, his head, back of his head. He said every time Buck balled up, he said he was hitting that nigga in his knuckles with the lock. He said, man, he was beating the shit out that nigga with the lock till the police came, bro. They was like, man, that nigga Buck fucked up. His shit knotted up everywhere. He fucked up. I was like, God damn, y'all already see, like, majority of the time, a predator luck be bad. A lot of times they skate away into the sunset like a real predator, but like, a lot of times they shit turn out like this, man, because people always got big cousins, big brothers, somebody that's really going to stand up for that. Me, I just don't feel like I can stand up for something that nobody else want to stand up for. Like, if you're not going to stand up for your damn self, it ain't a whole lot for me to do. Now, Buck, now Dale had his own personal reasons, and he got out the hole, so it was like it was destined for him to get back at this dude, man. But the predator fucking loses, man. The predator loses. He beat the shit out of goddamn Buck, man. And Buck, I don't know if he ever came back on the compound because I got transferred. You know what I mean? So when I got transferred, they had told me that Dale that finally got transferred, they said they sent that nigga to the mountains for that shit. They sent him to Wallace Ridge, man, for that shit, man, for beating that nigga with that weapon, man. But you gotta pay for shit like this, man. Now, when it comes to old boy, I never heard about what happened with Aaron. I never heard if he ended up shake, rattling, and rolling, or none of that shit, because I went to Lawrenceville. He never stumbled in Lawrenceville, and I never seen him no more, man. But majority of the time, when you get violated like that, you usually become a shake, rattler, and roller. You heard bro say he was the #1 thunner upstairs in the hole. So like usually those be the patterns, man. So I just hope everything good with him. I never heard or saw whatever happened to him or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he ever got out the hole or what. I ain't hear nothing about him ever since that had happened, except he had got violated, man. But his bro came out and handled business, man. Got rid of the predator. And that was that, y'all. But that was a crazy situation. That's the end of the damn story, though. Man, I appreciate y'all for watching, man. Y'all know the count, man. Stay your ass out the way, man. Your family needs you out here, period. But y'all already know what it is, man. This was the Tuesday banger game. So then just do this one. Like, just swipes on y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. But safe out there, y'all. And stay your ass out the way.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart just to open your eyes up.